dogs and get a different standard. Fine. But in time attack, these are often privateer-built cars with lots of bespoke stuff. So like Ilya Krylov, for example, you know, 4 kilogram half-fiber truck plan, was wheel to wheel, and suddenly someone knocks it, well then that's going to explode with carbon fiber. And that's the end of it. He's got to go and do that all. He can't just go to the shop and get a new fender. So that's why time attack evolved in such a way that we never pit these cars head-to-head, wheel-to-wheel, but we look at flying laps only, because there's so much custom, precious, you know, handmade, meticulous, creative stuff that goes into these cars that we try to safeguard it that way. Or at least this is how Mav explained it to me. And, you know, this is going back in time, Tsukuba and, you know, the lore. That's how it evolved. To encourage that trade, to encourage these one-offs. Anyway, enough about that. Let's take a look at car number 94, Nicholas Good in the Dream Automotive Honda Civic Type R FK8. Whereabouts is he? Second in Club 2 Drive so far, with a lap time of 1:42.8. So pretty good going there. And again, we're nearing representative lap times because these times are being counted and scored for the championship. Now, we group cars based on their specs. So the time attack rulebook is very flexible. So whatever you build, provided it conforms to the safety you know, past that point, pretty much anything you build, we can fit into the class. Fast road cars, little engine cars, the rocket, the ultra chassis, the retro. And then Club 4-wheel drive is for what we might call track day car or track car. In terms of, you know, they're stripped out, they've got some aero going on, maybe, you know, composite windows, composite body panels, engine swaps, gearbox swaps, forged engines maybe. In the Clubman class, for example, that's for engines that have not been opened and not been touched. You know, kind of standard things. Whereas Club 2-wheel drive and Club 4-wheel drive are for the more tracky, purpose-built machines that are built for basically track time. A lot of them, you know, they don't have MOTs, they're not very legal, you know, not that kind of car. These are full-on track cars that get trailered around. Andrew Kine there in that Citroen Saxo, number 45. Something at the back of my mind is telling me that the car might be a spin swap. Let's whack on Google. Yeah, there we go. That one's there we go. So Stu Summers is Saxo. Still a Saxo engine, from what I understand, but now supercharged. And Andrew Kine's machine is K-swap. And we see a lot of K-swap cars now in the world of time attack. Generally drifting. You know, Harry mentioned that maybe one day after was now K-swap, K24. And a lot of our time attack cars, not just in the UK but around the world, you know, the K-swap is a very popular. Yeah, I think when it comes to these norms and these trends, there are questions about all kinds of things. But for various reasons, the K-swap is very trendy at the moment. But of course, the popularity means that the aftermarket and even the engines themselves are kind of getting a bit more expensive. So I wonder whether we'll get to a point where the lore is going to move on a little bit. But at the moment, K-swap is super popular. Anytime K-swap. Eden Young's K11 Micro, if you missed it, that's K-swap. Ilya Krylov Clio, that's K-swap. probably a few others that I'm forgetting. Last year we had, felt like, we had some Renault Clios that were case-swapped as well. I don't think they're here this year. But yeah, very interesting. Let's take a look. That's Alexander Volkov's machine. See, but you know, it is quite a heavy, big car. And what's really interesting is when it comes past you on track, and it's the people who are trackside who will really benefit from that. Alexander Krylov has the fastest sector one than anybody so far. When you see this car pass you nearby, you can really hear how much air it's displacing itself. It's punching a very big hole in the air. It's a big machine, and so it needs that aero to really help around the track. It's very at home at circuits like Snetterton 200, you know, with a nice long bending straight, and at a twisty, turny circuit like Cadwell Park. It's really very much of a handful. Interestingly, so last year, Alexander Volkov had a little knot in his rear hatch, and as a result, needed a new bumper and bonnet. And they air sprayed a tiger onto the bonnet. Like graffiti paint, but like, you know, the proper, I don't remember what it's called. Airbrushed a tiger on the bonnet. Now, it seems that this year, it's now tigerless on the bonnet. The tiger is on the inside. And there was some symbolism there, like, fiercely, it was wounded, and yet it's still fierce, and it jumps back up. The team explained the symbolism of it. Clearly, it was so symbolic that they kept it on the car even though they changed the bonnet. So there we go. 900 horsepower from this car. MG. When we last spoke, I saw him briefly this morning, we didn't really go into detail, but last year Alexander Volkov's machine still had a full interior. And so we've had GTRs come and go over the years. Tuan, I think I just spied a fluorescent yellow cage in that GTR, which of course is what they need in Club 4-wheel drive, I think, of this year. So that's why they're but as of last year, it was fully standard interior, from what I understand. So it's very hefty machine, 1,700 kilos, give or take. Meanwhile, in the pits, we have the number 9 Andy Grady in that silver Evo, which I think ended Club 4-wheel drive warm-up fastest, and in fact fastest now, with 8 minutes left in this session. Perhaps let's take a look at some of our lap times. Currently leading Club 2-wheel drive is Andrew Time. My timing, 2 times 2 so I will take you guys. Yeah, he is. Glitching out. But yeah, okay, we'll come back to that. Time to say one thing. Might be saying something slightly different.